Hi guys, thanks for joining me today. I'm Marilyn and my channel is Making with Marilyn. Now on today's video, we're going to unbox, set up, and use for the first time xTool's F1 laser. Now this is a diode laser and it has a blue light laser as well as an infrared laser. So each of those lasers do different things. And we're going to get into that in the video. Now they also sent me the air purifier. So before we run this thing, we'll hook that up as well. Now here's what came in the two boxes. In the box with the F1, I got some corrugated vent pipe. I got the user's manual. I got some lubrication with it. That is in case it gets difficult to raise your lid up and down. And then I got a spare key. I'm going to explain more about this in a minute. And then I got a cloth. Now, if your lens gets dirty, you can use the cloth and some rubbing alcohol to clean it. Then I also got a USB cord to connect it to my computer, and then two parts of the power cord. So you're going to connect these two parts together, plug it in the back, and then either plug it in a wall or a really good industrial power cord. Now in the other box, I got the air purifier, more vent pipe to connect it to the F1, some spare filters that go in the top part, another user's manual, a cord to connect it to the F1, and then once again, two parts of a power cord. So we're going to start with the F1. Now you have some tape right here, so you need to remove that. Then there's some tape on the top, and it goes all the way to the back, so we're going to go ahead and remove those two pieces. There's another piece here, and I think that's it for the tape. So let's go ahead and open the lid and see what's inside. So you have a little base, and that sits in here. You use this if you're engraving. And then also in that piece of foam, you have this little corner unit. This helps you get things straight. And then also if you're going to do batching, that helps with that. Okay, more protective foam. And then I'm going to use that on my first project. So I went ahead and screwed that down. Now on this side, there's some instructions. It says before use, you're going to rotate to reset. So let me show you what it's talking about. This is the emergency off. So you have to rotate it and it's going to pull out. Now it's ready to go. So the second thing, it says check the key. Here's the key. If you don't want anyone else to operate this, you can actually take this out. And without this key in there, it's not going to operate. Now remember, you got to spare one of those just in case you lose it. At my house, I don't really have to worry about kids or anybody coming in here and doing that, so I'm going to leave it in all the time. And then the third thing, it says to remove the protector. So there's a protector on the lens. Let's find that. I don't know if you can see that, but the protector's right here. Now, I forgot to show you something. This is the riser plate. And so if you're cutting through something instead of just engraving, you would put this inside. All right, it is time to connect these together and to connect them to the computer. So I have all the cords unwrapped and I'm ready to do this. So let's start with the xTool. Now on this side, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a little picture of a computer right there. One end of the cord looks like this, and that's going to plug in right there. And then the other end is a USB. Now, my computer doesn't take a USB, so I have this little adapter. So I'll plug the USB right there, and then I'll plug this into my computer. So we'll go ahead and plug this end in. And then I might as well add this to my adapter. Now on the back is the on-off switch, and then there's the key that I showed you earlier. You'll connect the two parts of your power cord. And then this end goes right here. And then when the time comes, I'll plug the other end into the wall or an industrial power cord. Now moving on to the air purifier, let me go ahead and turn that around. Once again, you have your two-piece power cord, so you're just going to plug this in there. And then just like on the other one, you have this rounded end, and that's going to go right here. And of course this end plugs into the wall or again into an industrial power cord. Then to connect these together, you have this power cord. It came with the air purifier. Both ends look like that. One goes right here and it's labeled F1. And the other end goes right here. There's a little picture of something that kind of looks like a ventilation system. Let me plug that in and then I'll show you just a little bit closer. Now the last thing that I need to do is I need to connect the air purifier to the xTool with this vent tube. And this piece came not on it already. So I'm going to go ahead and stretch this out some. And then, okay, that won't fit on, so it has to go like this. So that means this has to go right here. Okay, from the inside of that, it looks like it screws on. Okay, why have I not seen anyone else struggle with this on videos? Okay. Okay, so I figured it out. Inside here, you can see that it looks like it screws on. See how this one's real close to the end, and then they go further and further in? And then on the pipe, this is where it starts. So, I'm going to try to get this where you can see it. Now I can tell on this one, instead of screwing righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, because of the way it's made, I'm going to have to screw it in lefty-tighty. Okay, now it's connected. And you can see inside, it's butted up against these right here. Okay, that wasn't very eloquent, but I wanted you to see that. Okay, now there's a power switch down here. And then here is your flow. So minimum, maximum, and it doesn't have anything that says medium in the middle, but there is actually a medium and then a high. I think I'll put mine on high for now. So I'm going to get these plugged in, turn them around, and then we're going to do our first project. Now I've powered everything on and I have connected the xTool to my computer. So let me go ahead and lift this. Now I'm going to show you this later on. I'm too embarrassed to show you the whole thing, but I accidentally forgot to frame. And so the first thing I did, I actually engraved on my xTool plate. So this time, I'm going to remember to frame. Okay, so I'm going to put my card in here. And I went ahead and I took this off and just screwed it to the outside. I decided I really didn't need it yet. I have my card pretty straight, I think. So you might be able to see a red dot and a blue dot. I hope you can, because here's how you focus on your item. There's a round knob over here, and I'm going to turn it until the red light and the blue light come together. Okay, there we go. The red light moves, the blue light doesn't. So that's one way you can focus, or you can actually measure that, put it in the computer. But to me, if you're doing the work of measuring it, you might as well just focus with this. All right, let's go ahead and put that down. Now, if this was anything that was bigger than this, or it was a tumbler or something, and this was up a little bit, I would use some new safety glasses that I got. They cover red light and blue light. With this all the way down, I don't have to. All right, so here's my wolf. This was a file that was provided by xTool. So if you have seen this on multiple videos, that's why. I thought people were just using stock videos. This is actually my video. I'm just using a file and settings that they provided to me. So for the material, I have black metal business card selected, and I'm going to score. I'm going to use the IR laser. I'm going to use a power of 100%, and then I'm going to use a speed of 1,000. So let's go ahead and frame this. And that is way off. So let me stop framing. And I probably need to move my wolf up on my page just a little bit. All right, let's go one more time. Okay, I can't see it at all. Let's go to the other framing. So on the other one, you have an outline that should go around the wolf. So let's check that out. You click on outline and then say framing. Okay, I sure hope that is showing up on the computer because there's blue stuff flashing all over that wolf. And I think it looks good. So let me go ahead and stop framing. Then on my computer, I'll click process. It beeped and it's ready for me to push this button. Okay, that is crazy because my screen is showing that took 6 seconds. Now it is just a score, it's not an engrave. But let's see how that looks. That is unbelievable. 6 seconds. Okay, so let's redo what I was trying to do here because it's an actual engrave, so it's going to take longer. Okay, so I'm going to try to put this in there straight. Now on this one, I'm going to engrave it, so I have to click engrave. Okay, let's try IR. I wonder if 1,000 would be too high. Let's try it. Now, I don't know if it's going to be perfectly centered. I'm just kind of learning this, obviously, with the mistake I made. But let's go ahead and try that. Now that took 1 minute 38 seconds. Ooh, that looks good. That looks really good. Now, did I accidentally have 2 cards in there? I think I had 2 cards stuck together. I did, but because I used that focus, it was in the right place. That looks so good. Now on my M1, of course my M1 is a 5 watt. That took over 5 minutes. So at 1 minute 38, I'm pretty happy with that. Okay, now another project they have in there is a piece of black acrylic. And I think I will use this little thing that helps you keep things straight for this one. Okay, so to use this, you just push it up against that square, and then let me see. I'm making those dots meet again. Whoops, I bumped my head. Now that one took 6 minutes and 16 seconds. That fell right out of there. Now I can see it's a little bit melty on this base plate, so I need to clean that off. It looks beautiful. That looks really nice. Let me get something to clean that with. All right, so I cleaned the back with alcohol. It looks pretty good, but I'm sure what happened was as it was doing its engrave, that it heated up the acrylic and it kind of melted on there. All right, y'all, I am giving this base plate a workout. I have a little black outline. I have some engraving here, but that's what it's for. It is to protect your work surface, and so I'm okay with that. Okay, so the last thing I want to do is I want to actually cut some wood. So let me go ahead and take this out. And I'm just going to cut an M out of this. It's not going to be anything fancy. It's just I haven't cut wood yet, so I want to try it out. Now, for cutting things, you want some airflow behind it. So I'm going to put this in there. And then I believe that these openings are supposed to be at the back so that your air comes up and goes through this air hole right here. Okay, so I'm going to put this here. And then I'm going to turn this knob so those two lines come together, or the two dots come together. All right. I'm going to hit framing. Now, I don't know if you can see through that, so let's go ahead and lift it up. It's framed right back there. Let me stop that. Now, that's going to waste too much of the wood, so let me pull the wood forward. I'll frame it again. Okay, that's kind of up in the corner, so that's good. Now that took 56 seconds. Let's see if it cut all the way through. Okay, and it looks like it did. Yeah, I just need to barely pop that out. And there it is. Now regarding the blue light and the red light, what I have read is that you usually use the blue light on wood, you usually use the red light on metals, and then when we did this, we used both. So I'm going to have to play around with this to see what's the best setting for all the different materials. Now, other than the one that I messed up the base plate doing, you've seen all the projects. So stick around to the end if you want to see how I messed that up. And really all I did is I forgot to frame it. And so I hit process and my blank wasn't in the right place. So always, always, always frame multiple times, and then hopefully you'll get it just right. Now, I don't know that you've been able to see me pushing this. So here's what it looks like. I use that to make those dots come together. See how it's pushing that down. Go back the other way, it lifts it up. And that's what you can use to focus this. And then also when it's ready for me to process it, all you do is push that in. Now, if something happens and you have an emergency, you have this safety button here, just press that in. It'll turn your machine off. Just remember that the next time you use it, you have to turn it and it'll come out and then your machine's ready. Now in the little sample pack that I got, there were some metal charms. So I'll place that on the plate and then turn this knob so those two dots come together. All right, let's see what happens. Now I don't want to move that till I see if it looks good. All right, I think that does look good. That is a nice dark engrave. Now we're going to try one more thing, and that is this coaster. So it's a slate coaster. Let's get it to focus. And it says it's going to use the blue laser, 100% power, and a speed of 500. We'll hit. Now that took 1:13 seconds, and that looks very good. Now I am just so curious to see what would happen if I did this with the IR laser. I'd love to show this to you. Just take my word for it. It looks very good. But we're going to do IR. Now when I switched it to IR, still having that stone coaster in there, it gave me a power of 100% and a speed of 500. Hopefully this does not blow up my stone coaster. Let's see. Now I went ahead and canceled that about halfway through because I wanted to see if we could tell the difference. And I canceled it at 39 seconds. Now the word don't and the top half of messed up, I did those with the blue laser, and then I tried that IR. They look just about like the blue laser does. So I don't really see the IR being a big benefit of this. When that blue laser only took, what, 1:13? That is an excellent result. But I wanted to experiment and see. So here's what happened the first time I tried to do one of those black business cards in the F1 laser. I forgot to frame it. I was so excited to try it. And look at that. It is engraving off the card. That actually engraved on that base plate. When I noticed that was happening, I went ahead and stopped it. And look, that's exactly where it engraved. I'll go ahead and show that to you. Look at that. So learn from my mistakes. Always frame more than once if you need to, and hopefully you get it in the right place. So at that point, I was done for the evening. I was upset. I went to bed, and then I got up this morning and started fresh. Thanks so much for joining me, and until my next one, bye-bye.